There are about 14 dead people for every living person, he said. The credits continued rolling. It took a long time to identify all those corpses, I guess. My head was still on his shoulder. I did some research on this a couple years ago, Augustus continued. I was wondering if everybody could be remembered, like, if we got organized and assigned a certain number of corpses to each living person, would there be enough living people to remember all the dead people? And are there? Sure, anyone can name 14 dead people. But we're disorganized mourners, so a lot of people end up remembering Shakespeare, and no one ends up remembering the person he wrote Sonnet 55 about. Yeah, I said. It was quiet for a minute, and then he asked, "You want to read or something?" I said sure. I was reading this long poem called Howl by Allen Ginsberg for my poetry class, and Gus was rereading An Imperial Affliction. After a while he said, "Is it any good? The poem?" I asked. Yeah, it's great. The guys in this poem take even more drugs than I do. How's AIA? Still perfect. He said, "Read to me." This isn't really a poem to read aloud when you're sitting next to your sleeping mother. It has like sodomy and angel dust in it, I said. You just named two of my favorite pastimes, he said. Okay, read me something else then. I said. I don't have anything else. That's too bad. I am so in the mood for poetry. Do you have anything memorized? Let us go then, you and I started nervously. When the evening is spread out against the sky, like a patient etherized upon a table. Slower, he said. I felt bashful, like I had when I first told him of an imperial affliction. Okay, let us go. Through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels, and sawdust restaurants with oyster shells, streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent to lead you to an overwhelming question. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit. I'm in love with you, he said quietly. Augustus, I said. I am, he said. He was staring at me, and I could see the corners of his eyes crinkling. I'm in love with you, and I'm not in the business of denying myself the simple pleasure of saying true things. I'm in love with you, and I know that love is just a shout into the void, and that oblivion is inevitable, and that we're all doomed, and that there will come a day when all our labor has been returned to dust. And I know the sun will swallow the only earth we will ever have. And I'm in love with you. Augustus, I said again, not knowing what else to say. It felt like everything was rising up in me, like I was drowning in this weirdly painful joy. But I couldn't say it back. I couldn't say anything back. I just looked at him and let him look at me until he nodded, lips pursed, and turned away, placing the side of his head against the window.